Do your friends support your eating goals, or are they really partners in crime? Listen in today to hear my own story of my former partner in crime. Hello, my friend. You are listening to Weight Loss Made Real, and this is episode 273. I'm your host, Master Weight Loss Coach and author Cookie Rosenblum. Today and every Tuesday, I will be your coach and your guide to help you stop overeating and lose that extra weight. If you want to lose weight, the first thing that must happen is for you to stop overeating. And that's what we do right here in this podcast, in these coaching sessions. So welcome back if you're a regular listener. And if you just found me, I'm so glad you did. This is where coaching meets psychology and psychology meets brain science. And this is where your problem ends and freedom begins. Now, one more time before we begin, I want to be sure that you know that the doors are open for the 5-day Stop Overeating coaching experience, which is coming up very soon. So if you're tired of your struggle to stop eating more than you need and you want a doable solution, I created this event for you. I'm going to teach you my proven and effective 3-step method, and I will be live teaching you and coaching you and supporting you and showing you exactly how your struggle can be resolved, no matter how long you've been overeating. This method and this coaching experience works because you'll learn how to use your brain and psychology to work together to help you become a natural eater. So if you're tired of being regretful after you've eaten too much and you're asking yourself why you just did that, then this coaching week, this training is exactly where you need to be. It's free. It's a gift from me to you. So if this sounds good, go to weightlossmadereal.com/coaching experience. You can register. We will send you all the details and we will hold a spot for you. The link is also in the show notes. So if you can't write it down, go there as soon as you can. Now, once you sign up, get excited because you're about to learn how to stop overeating in a way that you've dreamt about. And I am excited to see you there. Now, back to our coaching session for today. Do your friends support your weight loss journey, or are they partners in crime? All right. The culture that we live in, you've heard me talk about the world that you live in and how it affects your eating. What we're talking about is the culture, everything that surrounds you, the norms in your world. What's considered right, what's considered attractive, what's considered healthy, how you think you should look to be acceptable in your world, how you think you should eat to achieve your goals. Well, today, we are becoming so much more aware that the society we live in has a profound effect on our weight, our eating, all of our choices. And this influence is hard to see and it's hard to define because we're in it. We're living in it. It's like being a fish in a fishbowl filled with water and not seeing the water because we are immersed in it. This influence all around us, it's pervasive from the time that we're very young to the time that we're adults today. We're surrounded by other people's norms, others' opinions, so completely that it's hard to know what part of what we do comes from us and what part comes from our culture, our environment. So you know that our cultures influence our eating and our eating goals and our weight goals and so many of our ideas about how we look. As we become adult women, more and more of us, we're stepping back from the culture that helped create us. And we're asking ourselves if this is what we want, if this is what we want to believe, if these eating goals are really ours for the women we are today, Or did we just automatically take them on because they surrounded us? But in addition to the culture that shapes us and our thoughts and desires, today I want to take a look with you at how some people in our lives have just really strong influence on us. Today we're talking about the culture of our friendships, the people we spend time with, the people we look up to and go to for advice. We want their approval. We want their love. We want to be accepted by people we care about. So what happens when you try to swim upstream against not only the diet culture that you grew up in, but also your friends' culture? I want you to see that how your friends think and what they believe and what they do in the world of eating and weight is an influence that's very close to home for you. And today we're going to shine the light on how our friends help us make all kinds of eating decisions, some that are helpful and some that are definitely less than helpful, some that support us and some that lead us down a dark path. Why does it matter what our friends' opinions are in our eating world? We are creatures that like to be accepted in connected relationships. We want to feel that we're not alone in the world. So as we go through life, we find others that we can relate to. Think about a friend in your current life or in your past. Remember how good it felt to realize that you were drawn to someone and how wonderful it felt to know that the feeling was mutual. In your life today, if your eating is something you're working on, learning to be free from dieting and be at a comfortable, sustainable weight and be free from the struggle with all those eating decisions, think about a friend who knows of your goals. Maybe she shares your goals. She wants to stop overeating and lose weight, and so do you. So you have a common goal. Now, you'd assume that you'd each support each other and cheer each other on and help each other say yes or no to things that might help you or hinder your progress. Your friends might not know how to do this, and I'm going to give you some examples of how friend support could work and also how it could turn into each of you supporting the other in jumping ship and giving up on your goals. Back in my 20s, I was living in Chicago, and part of the time I was married in a previous marriage, and then divorced and single again. During this time, I had a really close friend, and we did everything together. We worked together, we went out together, we celebrated together, and we cried together. And of course, we did a lot of eating together. Lunches during work days, dinners on the weekends, and our specialty was going to a restaurant after work for free hors d'oeuvres, with the price of one drink, of course, and then going home for a full dinner. Terry, who gave me permission to use her name, is still a dear friend. We used to share a common goal, a very constant goal, and that was that we both always wanted to lose weight. We wanted to look a certain way and be a certain number on the scale, and these goals were the foundation of so many things we did together. We ate countless meals together, and one of the most common sayings I remember both of us asking each other as we sat down and looked at menus was, "Are we being good today, or are we being bad?" We were deciding, do we choose to eat lightly and stick to whatever diet we were on in that moment? Or should we say, the heck with it, let's get one of everything and dessert too? We were in this together. We looked at each other, and one of us always took the lead. I heard myself sometimes say, all right, let's be good today. I was good yesterday, and this would make it 2 days in a row. Or one of us would be upset about something, and in addition to talking it out, we'd look at each other and say, who cares? Let's just treat ourselves. We deserve it, don't we? This was how so many of our meals together went, either strictly following a plan and being good, and I'm saying good in quotes, or giving up entirely and overdoing it. So, does this sound familiar to you? Part of the question could be why we go black and white in our food decisions, from good to bad with very little in between. But the other part that we're talking about today is, was this really support? It was almost as if two of us were making one big decision together instead of two individual grown women having strong commitments to their goals and supporting each other to stick to their own plan. Why do we ask a friend that kind of question? Should we give in and just overeat? Or should we be careful and stay on track? I think when you don't yet know how your mind works, and I certainly didn't know that in my 20s, you probably don't know how to motivate yourself. You probably don't know how to separate your mood from your food. And you probably are very easily swayed by the friend you're with in the moment. We all tend to go for immediate pleasure and not so much for the true big picture happiness. One of the questions I want you to ask yourself is, what do your friends think support is? And what do you think support is? If you don't know what you need, it's not likely that your friend will know what you need and how to give it to you. So if they see you unhappy and they learned from their family that when you're unhappy, pizza and ice cream were always on the menu, then that's how they learn to feel better. And they learn their method of support, and then they bring it to your adult relationship. It would sound like, hey, life is hard. I just ended a relationship. I had a fight with my mom, and I'm not thrilled with my job. And the next thing you'll hear from some of your friends will be something like, okay, let's share that brownie and ice cream dessert. You deserve it, and I will keep you company, which is another way of saying you are in emotional pain. You should eat, and I will eat with you because I care about you. Today, hopefully, you don't have a goal of sticking to a strict diet, but maybe you have a goal of not eating past slightly full, not eating until you have to open your pants and lay down. What is helpful is for you to know what you want and to be able to be clear with your friends about it without shame, without fear of being rejected, so that they can offer you real support. And when you're struggling to stick to whatever your plan is and you feel like overdoing it, then support might look like sharing a walk or a cup of coffee and talking about what's happening for you, and knowing that you're not needing permission from them to be true to yourself, to be true to your goals. You and your friend can be on two different paths and yet be caring and connected and supportive to each other and eat separately, differently. This is why it's so important to be aware of the culture and the relationships that you're immersed with, that you're immersed in, so that you can each support the other's goals without jumping off that mountain just to keep the other company. This is why the environment you need is so important when you're trying to learn and achieve a goal that takes you down a path that's different from the one that you've been on. Change is challenging, right? This is also why being joined with others with similar goals is important. We all do the best we know on most days, but imagine if you were surrounded by women who all had similar goals to the ones that you had. To learn to eat just what your body needs, to learn to manage all your different moods, the great ones and the low ones, without overeating, and to truly support each other no matter what your moods and your goals are. We can look back and laugh, like Terry and I can today, because in the past, we were just doing the best we could. And today we can talk things through with food if we're hungry, and with a walk or a phone call if we're not. This is not to say that you need to change your friends, but you need to learn how to get the support you need. So before you go, I want to give you an invitation again to sign up for the 5-day Stop Overeating coaching experience, where you can learn firsthand from live coaching what support really feels like and really sounds like, and how you can see someone slide down the slope of overeating and care about them, but not join in with them. I did it, and I can show you how to do it too. This is your opportunity to see what it feels like to be in the right company, not alone and listening to me and writing in your journal, but actually learning to start looking at overeating simply as something that you learned and absorbed and something that you can unlearn. As you hear me coach others live, and maybe it will be you if you wish, you'll be able to see yourself in other stories and see that what is possible for them is also possible for you. So, sign up for this free live experience and I will help you do this. It's at weightlossmadreal.com/coaching experience. And after you sign up, I want you to honestly think about whether your friends are supporting you now in your eating and weight goals, or whether they inspire you to be swayed by the promise of a brownie with ice cream. You know what you're going to think about and do this week. I hope to see you back here next week, where we will continue to work on that overeating until it becomes something that you used to do. We both know that is your ultimate goal. So for now, this is your Coach Cookie reminding you that as you search for answers, keep it real, just like you. And I will see you next week.